Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about turn frequency in expanders, be it a fixed RPE, a Hyrax, a Schwartz, whatever type of palatal expander you want to use. And maxillary, mandibular, whatever. Mandibular, of course, is not a palatal expander. It's just a expansion device because there's no suture. But we're not going to get into the weeds too much with all that. If you want to go back to the very, very basics on how it works, whether you need a top, a bottom, a top and a bottom, etc., design, you should definitely check out my entire playlist on phase 1 interceptive appliances. I have over 100 and something videos. Everything you need to know is in there. To find that, just go to your YouTube channel, put in the search bar at the top, Straightsmile Solutions. From there, it's going to take you to my YouTube channel, which has a green banner. From there, you scroll down until you find the playlist. I don't know where it is right now. It's somewhere. Scroll down on the front page, and you will see one that says like phase 1 interceptive airway. It's all the little kids stuff, OMT, habits. Click on that playlist and just scroll through the ones that sound interesting to you. Or you can search within the playlist for RPE. Anyways, today we're going to specifically talk about rapid versus slow and the benefits, risks, things like that. So way back when I was practicing full-time in ortho, I always did rapid. But I stopped doing rapid sometime in there because I saw a lot of weird things happen, and I felt like how do I say this without offending people? The demographics that I was working with, often English wasn't the first language, and even though we get things translated, weird things would, understanding maybe wasn't happening fully, as well as sometimes weird things would happen, like a parent would punish the kid by overturning. So it made me really, really nervous. So I started doing slower expansion. Plus, it allowed me to keep the same instructions for a removable versus a fixed, because I don't do rapid expansion in a Schwartz. I only do rapid in a fixed banded appliance. So that way my assistants had a consistent instructions, consistent handout. Front desk had consistent instructions. We always do it this way. This is the way we do it. Less side effects, fewer side effects. Also, the other benefit was you wouldn't get that giant gap between the front teeth, which patients hate. And often when you're doing phase 1 or interceptive expansion, not comprehensive with braces, you may not even be putting on braces. You might not be doing phase 1 aligners. You might just be widening the arch. And if you go nice and slow, and the frequency I'm not going to get into because I have other videos on that, when to do what, which direction to do it, then you wouldn't get that giant gap, which is so not aesthetic, It just was really gradual, and slowly the teeth would just start to align on their own because they had more space and more freedom to move. And it's just real gentle, not as much discomfort. And I think for me also, the second thing that happened when my daughter was about 8, we did expansion on her, Schwartz's like this. I started on rapid, and the amount of discomfort she had was really high. It was after doing it for so many years as an orthodontist and not realizing what it was like as a parent, I really changed the ways I did things. And yes, it maybe takes 3 months instead of 2 weeks, but less discomfort, less side effects, doesn't look as ugly, and less risk. Because what are the risks? Well, sometimes, first of all, if the patient is wearing inconsistently, you're not going to get splitting of the suture. So I'd rather find that out before we tip the teeth and blow them through the bone, which is what can basically happen. I can tell, when the patient comes in, if they weren't wearing it consistently. And I don't want to get to the point where of no return where I've damaged the roots and teeth. So at least they come back in 4 weeks, I know, Secondly, we don't have the ugly gap. Third, we don't have all the pain and the drama at home. It's just, for me, it works better. So that's the way I do things. Like I said, the frequency is going to change. It might change every month. So we start off with either 2 turns on the top, 1 turn on the bottom, 2 turns on the top, 2 turns on the bottom, or 1 and 1, depending on the age, the pubertal growth spurt. And I have tons of videos on how to choose that. And then when the patient comes in, we reassess. We might change it up, So patient has to come in. The other suggestion I have for you whenever you're doing expanders, is to make sure your office knows that first of all, no expander patients walk out without an appointment. Everyone has an appointment in 3 to 4 weeks. Everyone does, okay? Not an option. And if they cancel an expander appointment, you're following up. You cannot ghost your patient. You cannot lose your patient because weird, scary things can happen if you lose that patient and they keep turning, okay? So You need to train your staff, and also perhaps have a list, run a report. I don't care how you want to do it in the back office, but if someone doesn't come back in, like I've even had a notebook in the back office with, names or initials and the date we put the expander. And if they don't follow up, that's a problem. We need to go knock on their door, send them letters, 55 phone calls, 55 emails, 55 texts. You need to come in. You need to come in. You need to come in, because we're literally breaking your jaw. We have to see you. I can't tell you how much scary stuff I've seen happen with expanders, and I don't want to freak you out, because most of this happened either because the frequency was wrong, they overcranked it, they didn't wear it consistently and tried to shove it in, or they kept turning when they weren't supposed to and didn't come in for follow-ups. And these were not my patients. They were other doctors' patients, and I either subbed in their office, or I filled in, or they were train wrecks, and they got sent to me because I knew how to handle it, how to fix it. I was a fixer. But I've seen scary stuff happen. So you, as the doctor and as the staff, need to be responsible to make sure your expander patient does not ghost you, okay? When you deliver the expander, it's kind of like placing a bonded retainer. You're married to that patient now. I don't care if it's fixed or removable. You need to make sure they come in a month. I don't care if your power went out, if there's COVID, you can do a virtual appointment. You are responsible for making sure they come in, and I can't say that enough. So anyways, yes, I might do things differently than other orthodontists, but there's a reason for it. Also because I work primarily with general and pediatric dentists, some orthos for sure, who are new at this. And let's do it a little bit more gradually so there's less drama in your office and less emergencies. That's the ultimate, thing. So anyways, hopefully that was helpful. Gave you some tips and tricks. Expanders should not be scary, but you should definitely be doing them for sure. All right, thanks so much.